Yeah. What birthday? What are you guys talking about?
So how'd that go with your diet?
Not very good. We're waiting for council huddle. Lawyers are always late. They don't bill you being late, but they're always late.
His minute is up.
You still pay for that time, though.
I know, trust me. Council huddle, we're ready.
Thank you.
Good morning. 9:01 on April 9th, 2019. We're calling an emergency meeting. I'd like you to please join me and stand and pledge to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, with us here we have Ms. Schmelzer, Director of Operations, Council Huddle, JJ, and Commissioner Pash. On the phone, do we have Commissioner Boyce?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And Commissioner Gold.
I'm here.
All right, we are calling this morning an emergency meeting. I'd like to get any amendments to the agenda. Hearing none. May I get a motion, please?
I move that we accept the agenda as written.
May I get a second?
Mr. Chair.
Any further comments? Roll, please.
Commissioner Gold.
Yes.
Vice Chair Boyce.
Aye.
Chair Pash.
Aye.
Carried unanimously.
All right, so our action items, we're going to request the governor to declare a state of emergency. And Jeremy, I'd like you, if you wouldn't mind, step up to the mics and give us a synopsis of what's occurred in the county in the last 96 hours and where the county currently is. Thank you.
Good morning. So for the record, Jeremy Dumeier, Curry County Emergency Manager. Roadmaster Rich Christian, I mentioned this before the meeting, is currently in with OEM and FEMA on the previous storm system from February 25th. So he won't be in attendance at this morning. As far as a brief of what happened so far, we've gotten what they call a Pineapple Express weather event, where we received
Mr. Chair, if I may, forgive me, Mr. Dumeier, are you talking direct into the microphone and maybe just a little slower if you could?
My apologies. So,
Don't worry, thank you.
we, over the weekend, we received a substantial quantity of rain as a jet stream from Hawaii essentially came pointed right at us. Of impacted counties, we basically bore the brunt of this weather event. In a 24-hour period over Sunday night into Monday, there were some weather stations that reported as much as 10 inches of rain in 24 hours. The typical amounts were in the 6 to 7 inch range over 24 hours. This was after sustained heavy rains Friday night, Saturday night that primed the system, if you will. These rainfall events caused substantial damage within the county and also caused for a lot of work to be started. We had started in the south on the Windchuck at about mile marker 5, a debris flow event that blocked the road. Road crews were able to open one lane. However, as soon as that lane was open and traffic was able to start driving up the Windchuck, primarily I'll talk about a school bus in this event. School bus went up the Windchuck to pick up kids. On the way back down at mile marker 4.5 approximately, another debris flow occurred, trapping the school bus behind it. And that debris flow, because of its consistency and because of its location, it became too unsafe for the road department to engage. They are out today trying to engage that debris flow, but it did block the Windchuck at least for 24 hours at this point. Moving further north on the Chetco, there were some landslides that did block the road towards Loeb. Those were able to be handled by road crews. Lots of high water events, a lot of areas where debris came over the road and such. On Gardner Ridge Road, this will be a very costly situation for us, as towards Kate Road near the Hazel Camp area, we basically lost the road. The road drops straight down the canyon on the eastbound lane of travel and undercut into the westbound lane of travel. That road is, as I understand, not repairable in its current situation. You're not going to be able to put any sort of fill underneath because it did drop straight. They're going to have to look at some major fix, reroute perhaps. Right now they're going to try to shove that westbound lane as tight to the uphill bank as possible and at least give the residents that live past Hazel Camp the opportunity to still be able to travel. So that one will be quite expensive, several hundred thousands of dollars, as I understand from Roadmaster Christensen, if not even higher. Going further north, we have more landslides, debris flows, road failures. Langley's Mountain's another one I'm aware of, where the road in two spots, a 5.5 and 6 mile, have dropped substantially, causing the need for substantial repairs. We did, because road crews were overtaxed. They were basically working 20 hours straight, as I understand, at one point. We did have to utilize outside resources. Fortunately, we had the City of Gold Beach and IGA with them. They were able to work on Jerry's Flat, a slide at about mile marker 1, and we do appreciate that help, of course. The cities in this storm did not have any substantial impacts. They did have their storm crews out and such. The county in this situation bore the brunt of the storm. Our road department was taxed beyond their capabilities, and that's a part of the reason why we're asking for this declaration, is to get state help in having resources allocated for Curry County to help get past this event. So that's the basic overview at this point.
Well, Mr. Dumar, I appreciate the extensive report. From what I understand also is Mr. Christensen's a couple people short on his staff right now as well, so.
Yeah, so we also had high water, of course, on the Hunter Creek system. That flooded over the road by the ODOT and Oregon State Patrol yards. Completely impassable at times, and some of the road department staff and a lot of county staff, for that matter, live out in that general area, so they were not able to respond. So yes, he was even further shorthanded because of the event. In talking about the water flows, Hunter Creek flooded over the road on multiple occasions, 3 that I can at least think of for sure. The Checo River, this is a top 10 event for the Checo, as it crested at approximately 22.18 feet. For context, in 2012, it crested at 22.9 and 22.08 feet, so very comparable to what happened in 2012. Yes, we did have shorthanded crews because of the flooding issues.
Another question I have is Hooksagen.
So far, so good. One of the things that we're going to have to watch for here is, as the grounds desaturate, I expect that they will destabilize. Right now, this rain might act kind of like a glue, holding things together until it dries out, and then we'll see some more slides. We can certainly expect to see a lot more work in the near future because of this event.
Thank you. Commissioner Gold, do you have any questions for Mr. Dumar?
Biggest thing I'm thinking is, thank goodness we have a little bit of contingency fund in the road fund with this event.
Yes. Commissioner Boyce, do you have any questions for Mr. Dumar?
No, just thank you, Mr. Chair. Salem here, the sun is out, it's gorgeous. I hope that that's the weather conditions in Curry County. I just keep hearing the work that Emergency Management Coordinator Dumar is doing, Roadmaster Christensen, and their people. Can't thank you enough. Of course, Director Schmelzer and staff for putting this short notice meeting together. It's going to be too common for Curry County, but we're going to move forward, progress, and certainly overcome. Thank you, Mr. Chair. That's all for now.
Mr. Chair, if I may, real quick.
Yes.
This is a rather unusual event for us, especially for April. We're used to seeing high rain events in January, December and January. This rainfall event may actually prove to be a record setter for the month in Curry County.
Wow. Well, everything's possible in Curry County. What I'd like to say is I'd like to give a big shout out to everyone in this county for the work they're doing. You guys don't have to all do this, and that's what a lot of the people in this county need to realize is the extent that our employees in this county go to at times to dot all the T's, cross all, or dot all the I's and cross all the T's, make sure that the constituents of this county are safe, the road crews to be out. And I saw videos yesterday. I went out on a couple of these water washouts and the flooding on Hunter Creek, and to see the danger that some of these crews are under, to see these slides actually still coming at them as they're trying to move debris out of the way, it kind of really gives you reason for pause to think about the situation that these men and women are willing to put themselves in for their jobs and to protect this county. So a big shout out to everyone involved in the emergency services of this county. I would just like to say thank you for your service. So I would like to entertain a motion that we declare an emergency in the county for the damage that we have undergone due to this storm. Do I have a second?
I second that.
Have any further comments?
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Boyce.
Well, two things quickly. Your recognition of our employees is a wonderful reminder, and very well said. And then Council Huddle, yes, to have a storm in April. The last flood we had was in January of '97. We had a flood in March early in 1983. So this flood being in April is probably the worst we've had since '97, which was the worst since 1964. So the reason I bring this up now is that in collecting the inventory of the damage that Mr. Dumeyer, Mr. Christensen, and others are working on, it's going to be very important that we get those inventories and combine that with the highway collapse of 2019 February, and that'll work to help us get the assistance that we need from here in Santa, and particularly at the federal level. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, so I have a motion and a second. Call for the roll, please.
Commissioner Gold.
Aye.
Vice Chair Boyce.
Yes.
Chair Pash.
Aye.
Carried unanimously.
And with that, I would request that our governor understand the situations that we have here in Curry County and in rural Oregon, and move swiftly to do everything that she and her office can do to make things much easier for us here. Council Huddle.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Council Huddle.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just for the record, we have a written document, and we have two commissioners absent. I'd like us to be able to send that with their signatures just authorized over the phone, so that we can get that document and indicate approval by the absentee commissioners and get it to the governor right away.
All right, so I'd like to Council Huddles ask that you guys give a verbal authorization of your signatures on this document to the governor. I will sign it as chair with your verbal authorization. Commissioner Gold, do you approve?
Yes,
Commissioner Boyce, do you approve? Commissioner Boyce.
Chair, if we could, another option might be to send it to either Senator Hurd's office or might be sent there to Senator Representative Brock Smith's office. I can sign it subject to board approval. I would be honored to carry it to the governor's office immediately and deliver it, and also to OEM director and anyone else that the board would request that I submit it to. Thank you.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
So once this declaration is signed, it will actually go to me, and I will forward that directly to FEMA.
Okay.
Or, excuse me, not FEMA, OEM, so
Okay.
they'll have that.
So what we're hearing here, Mr. Boyce, is once this is signed, it goes to Mr. Dumeyer, and he forwards it immediately to OEM. It doesn't actually go to the governor's office.
Yeah, well, I want to take it a copy to the governor's office. There's no reason not to, and every reason to follow through with that.
So what I'd like to do, though, is just do a letter that you wouldn't really necessarily have to sign, so it looks better that we're all in agreement that this is what we do, and then send it to you. If you need a copy of it, we can send a copy of that to you, but it wouldn't necessarily need your signature on it. Your name would be on the document, though.
I'll accept that, Mr. Chair, but I want a copy that's sent to the senator and the representative here, please.
All right, so JJ, so once we get this done, we will send a copy of this to Senator Hurd's office and Representative Smith's office, as well as getting Mr. Dumoyer a copy. All right, so we have agreement on that, correct? Mr.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So at this time, what we're going to do is we are going to enter into executive session. We're going to recess this section of the emergency meeting right now and enter into executive session per 192660 to conduct deliberations with persons designated by government body to carry on labor negotiations. Thanks, Jeremy. Commissioner, there we are. We are good. All right, so we are back in session here, April 9th, 9:44 a.m. We are to proceed as directed from executive session, and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you, Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner Gold, for your time. Have a great